Welcome to day 4 of solo build battles. This time we're not on stream, so you know the deal. Let's get our theme, give ourselves 20 minutes and see what we can do. All right, let's hop right into it. Put it to 1, generate. Massive origami gallery. Okay, not something I would ever have expected, but we can give it a shot. So this was quite a weird theme for me. I didn't know exactly what I was doing. I haven't done origami in a very long time, you know? So I had to look up a couple of reference pictures of little origami cranes or whatever. That was pretty much the only thing I was going to do. I know there's frogs and other stuff as well in origami, but I didn't think that was going to be, you know, doable for my time limit here and everything, which was about 20 minutes for the first 2. And then I wanted to make like a big one for the ending, so I added another like 15 minutes onto that. So overall, like half an hour, 35 minutes was our time limit here today. And as you can see, I built up like kind of a thin swan. It's kind of hard because they're made out of paper, which means obviously they're going to be super skinny. So I didn't want to like build them out too much, even though it's kind of hard to represent thin things in Minecraft because everything is 1 block thick, you know. It's kind of hard to do without using like, I guess, walls or slabs or something, but you know, I wasn't gonna do that. I wanted them to be colorful and nice, and as you can see, there's my first little crane getting built up nice. A little thicker than maybe it should be, but I think the shape of it's pretty good, not too shabby. It's standing on its 2 little like triangle legs. And then for the second one, I wanted to make one that was kind of, you know, like laying down, didn't have like legs, it was just kind of like on the ground flat. So I tried to build up a kind of a different shape for it, but same concept, you know, the diagonal head and tail and stuff in the back. And then I worked on the wings on both sides, as you can see here, building out the first one, and it's just kind of like laying down on the ground. Maybe I should have made the bottom of it a little bit thicker. Not too sure what was going on with that, but I decided that it was good enough for my purposes. Obviously, we didn't have that much time for it, as usual. But I think it turned out pretty good. I decided to make the center of it a little bit thicker as well on both sides, as you can see here, just to, you know, even it out and make it not look as weird, because 1 block thick things are just kind of strange looking in Minecraft in my opinion. But I made the head thicker a little bit, finished off the tail, and I decided, this is when I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a third one. These are kind of small and lame, and it has to be a gallery, and in my opinion, a gallery has to be at least 3 things, you know. You can't have a gallery of 2 things. That's kind of silly. So I decided to just kind of start randomly building out like a big kind of dip, because I did see one Google image of a swan that had kind of indented wings in a way. It was kind of like a scoop almost. So I decided to mimic that as best as I could, as you can see here, kind of building out an oval arc type shape, which was going to be one of the wings. And as you can see, it's already significantly bigger than the other 2 cranes that we had. And this one took quite a while. I think it took probably a little bit more than 15 minutes, if I'm being completely honest. But I tried to get up the center here. I made it 2 blocks thick and then like 2 kind of detail blocks thick. So it was like 4 in total, making it a lot bigger than the other ones, obviously, but also making it not look as much as like a paper swan as I would like, having it be that big. But I built out the neck in the same way and the head and everything, and it did end up being, you know, I think it looked at pretty fine, but overall it was kind of rough to make something so thin in Minecraft and try to make it look good, but I did my best. And then at some point here, I have to start working on the second wing, which was very difficult to do. The first one was easy because I was just randomly placing blocks and, you know, doing my thing, doing what I had to do. But the second wing, I kind of had to make it somewhat symmetrical on the other side, which means I had to keep looking over on the other one to see what I did and then making it kind of look similar as well, which is hard when the first one you did was super sporadic and not thought out at all. But I just went for it and kind of started placing blocks, and then hopefully I would add kind of like the details and the sizing of it afterwards. But it was fine. Didn't end up being too difficult. I just had to do a couple passes over and break blocks and place blocks as I needed, you know, just to kind of fill out the details. I at least got it centered on the swan, which was nice. Didn't think I was going to get that first try, but it did end up working. So once I finished building up this wing, which took, you know, probably 5 minutes on its own, just randomly placing blocks and then filling it out, flying over, looking at the other side. It was a rough process for sure, But I think the swan definitely is my favorite, or crane, or whatever you want to call it. You know, I'm not an origami master or anything like that. But I think this one definitely was my favorite. Look at the nice little legs. Similar design as the first one, just on a much larger scale, which I think is pretty cool looking. IMO. And as you can see, I kind of needed to do a little bit more cleanup on the bottom of the wings. They're a little bit rough around the edges down there, but I didn't really notice that at the time. And obviously we're not going to go back and fix it now. Maybe one day we'll have an episode where we go back and add some more details or finishing touches to all the builds that I've done so far. But overall, here are the swans. I think you'll enjoy them, and I'll see you in the next one.